DJ Mixtape Mastermind.
What we also are starting to appreciate is that the costs are broader than that and affect all of us, and that's what the report is about. It's a first look at coming up with estimates about the cost of foreclosures to our local communities. And in the report, three things are looked at primarily, as was mentioned: the loss in property tax value, the loss in tax revenue, and the direct costs and indirect costs that are attributed to local government for having to deal with the crisis. And in San Francisco, the estimate was about $7 billion. We can talk about the problems, and we've been talking about the problems for a long time, but we really want to focus on solutions.
And I want to thank ACE and the California Reinvestment Coalition for your work on bringing this issue forward. This is an issue that many people outside the southern and southeast part of San Francisco understand. They don't realize that we have a true foreclosure crisis in our city. I've looked at the maps, and you look at the dots. If you were to put a dot where all the defaults and all the foreclosures happen, you would see a huge swath down the southern part of San Francisco where defaults and foreclosures have happened. And you know what? It's happened to me. I actually had a medical issue in my family. My wife had to stop working for a bit, and we weren't able to pay our mortgage. We had to modify our loan, and thanks to an organization like MEDA, the Michigan Economic Development Association, we were able to do that. But that's not very easy for anyone to do. We had to fight tooth and nail with the banks to be able to get that condition to have a loan modified. And I think we need to be doing much more to be holding the banks accountable. We have 16,355 homeowners in San Francisco who are underwater. I'm one of them. We bought our house, it was $580,000. Now, according to Zillow, it's worth about $430,000. That is a condition that many people experience here in San Francisco. And that is actually, we choose when we own property that we want to be able to increase our wealth. And we're seeing that as we are making all these decisions, our wealth is declining. And when our wealth declines, we are forced with terrible decisions about whether we can stay or move out of San Francisco. And when we move out of San Francisco, that is wealth that is leaving our communities. We're losing our great diversity in San Francisco. We have to protect it. And one way is to hold these banks accountable.
I'm the chair of the Public Safety Committee, and I'm also on the Budget Committee of the Board of Supervisors. And there is no denying that the correlation of where there is the greatest amount of foreclosures, crime is also the most pronounced in San Francisco. And it's not surprising that some of the most predatory lending practices had occurred in some of the most underserved and vulnerable communities in San Francisco. Now that we see where there's been a number of foreclosed properties, especially in the southeast sector of San Francisco, many of those properties have not been registered as vacant buildings because they remain vacant, and they are in violation of city law by not registering with an ordinance that was passed by the Board of Supervisors in 2010. Only about a third of those foreclosed properties and those who hold the notes on those properties have registered with the city government.
Nice presentation. And we just left a press conference at Phil Tane's assessor's office, and it was about the foreclosure crisis that affected all the homeowners. We as African Americans, we're getting pushed out our homes, we're losing our equity, banks don't want to modify the loans. We bail out Wall Street, but why we can't bail out the homeowners? They got billions and billions of dollars. We would like to get a land trust for San Francisco so that inner city youth can be a participant in a job training program, to be able to acquire some of these foreclosed homes, to rent them out, and keep our working class members of our community in their community, because the banks are not doing it. So I really want to give props to ACE, community organization, for fighting for the homeowners. Thanks to Ross Mercarimi, thanks to Phil Tang, John Avalos, and Malia Cohen for being here today, trying to get these banks to help the homeowner. And if they don't, hopefully they'll come up with legislation to divest $6.8 billion of the city's money going to those banks. So this is a new day. We are hurting, and this is why people get involved with politics, because our backs against the wall. So keep the struggle, and thank you for all the people that attend this press conference today. Hope is in the air.
DJ Mixtape Mastermind.